County presides over the Commissioner's Court. The County Judge Office is responsible for daily operations, emergency management, homeland security. The current judge is Mark Keough, and the candidates in this race are Billy Graff, Mark Keough, and Sara Countryman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. So we'll start off with our 2-minute opening statements. And so on my list, I have Sara, Judge Keough, and then Billy Graff. And so we'll go in that order and then kind of return the line for asking the questions. So.
Good evening. My name is Sara Countryman. I'm currently the second-term mayor of the city of Montgomery. I've had 4 very successful years in the city of Montgomery with transparency and accountability, and I'm running this race on those 2 premises as the people's candidate. I've got 18 years of experience in IT sales, bringing groups together for collaboration for the best of their companies. I'm also a conservative Christian and a 5th-generation Texan. As mayor, I've participated in 4 budget cycles. I have also worked with city officials and City of Montgomery because of our growth and expansion, to ensure that we have roadways and mitigated water that could potentially be an issue while we are growing at a rapid pace. As mayor also, it has been important that our budget cycles, we start with a zero-based budget. That was not the case while my first term. I've also been successful of getting a savings account created for the city of Montgomery. I would never have shut down the city. I did not shut down the city, nor would I have ever instituted a mask mandate through COVID. I've worked closely with our Historical Society and our senators and representatives to ensure that our history has been preserved. I am serving every taxpayer in the city of Montgomery, and I will serve every taxpayer in the county of Montgomery should I be your next county judge. Thank you.
My name is Mark Keough, and I am your county judge. You know, as I've had the opportunity to go through these forums, some things have crystallized in my mind. And the one most significant thing is that I have done what I said I was going to do. I made certain promises to the people of Montgomery County. I told them that when I would start this position, I would take a 12% cut in my salary. I'm the only employee in Montgomery County that hasn't taken an increase in salary or in cost of living expense. Do you know that I also said that we would end tolls, the toll road over on Highway 242, since it was paid off? And you know what? Commissioners worked together with me, and we ended up doing that. That toll is done, the 2nd time in the history of the state of Texas. The 3rd thing that I said I would do, and I'm very excited about this, and we've cooperated in the Commissioner's Court to do this. As your appraisals have gone up, we have dropped your tax rate, so that the tax rate in dropping it would compensate for the increase in the value of your home, so you wouldn't every year get pounded with more additional taxes. Barb Sadler told me when we first did it in 2019, the former county judge, first time in the history of the county. That's amazing. But we did it. We did it together as a court. I also promised you that I would put Montgomery County first. You know, that was tested. You got President Trump closing the federal government. You got Governor Abbott closing the state governor. You got government. You've got the guys in Florida and Rick DeSantis closing down there. You got hospital ship in San Francisco, a hospital ship in New York, and all of a sudden my health district comes to me and says we're going to have 100,000 cases by the end of April and possibly 1,000 people dead. So we followed the science for 2 weeks. Then we followed common sense. I didn't push the button. Then we followed common sense. And we fought from that point forward. We resisted mask mandates. We resisted vaccine mandates. We fought with the Governor Abbott. We fought with the state of Texas. We fought with the federal government. And you know what? Montgomery County's economy is soaring. Our properties are increasing. People are coming here because of the stability and wealth of the government.
All right, thank you.
All the hot up here, air up here is eating all the battery power. I'm Billy Graff, and I'm running for county judge, and I am proud to say that I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I'm the only veteran in this race. I'll be the only veteran that's on the court. I have a unique perspective of the Constitution. I have a unique perspective of your freedom. I have a very unique perspective of what these flags in this room mean. I would never have shut you down in 2020 in the midst of COVID. And we didn't just shut down for 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. We shut down for 2 weeks plus an extension. Nowhere in our Constitution really does that give us the authority to do that. And I just want to go on record as saying I would never do that to you. I would never tell you you can't go to church. I would never tell you you can't go to work. I would never cause you to lose your job. I would never cause you to have any of those issues. I also would like you to know that my wife and I have been married for 40 years. She's just as beautiful today as she was, and she's exactly the same woman I married 40 years ago. She's just having to put up with me. And she says, we just call her Saint Dawn. My business experience include oil and gas, sales and design, as well as a master's degree in theology and a PhD in biblical studies. And I say that not because I'm smart, but I say that because I'm a very disciplined individual. I believe that education matters. I also run a large nonprofit. We spent over $5 million helping families during Hurricane Harvey. I worked in over 9 counties who called me and asked me to come and help them. I wanted to help here, but the county leadership did not return any of my calls. But I found some ways to help you anyway. I have the experience to handle budgets, manpower, design, ideas, and vision. I'm Billy Graff. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And Billy, we'll stick with you for the first question, and then everybody will respond to that same question. So to start us off, what do you see as the biggest transportation and mobility needs in Montgomery County, and how should the county fund those needs?
Transportation and mobility is the problem. Roads, which is one of our largest issues, as everyone has already talked about, and the commissioners, candidates talked about it also. We have huge amounts of traffic cloggage going on around the county. We have huge amounts of land being prepared for future growth. We have tens of thousands of acres being developed or in the prep to be developed. And we're way behind, ladies and gentlemen. Our biggest problem is planning, preparedness. Now, I understand, having worked with state, federal, and local officials in my disaster relief work. I've worked with congressmen, I've worked with state reps, I've worked with state senators, I've worked with county judges, I've worked with commissioners. There's no level of government that I have not worked with. So when it comes to doing this kind of work, I understand how to navigate these conversations. We do need federal money, we need state money, we need local money. It's going to be a partnership to build these roads, get them designed, get the permits in place. Partnerships are essential, as are you, by the way. And that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to come together as a community and decide how we want to do construction and mobility. Do we need to add mass transit? That's a conversation. I don't know just yet. But we definitely need to focus on roads and those types of things.
We know that we need to focus on roads and those types of things. That's what we've been doing for the last 4 years. You don't realize that one of the promises that I made, that we would come up with a countywide mobility plan. When I took over this position, we had a thoroughfare plan, but that wasn't good enough. And the commissioners voted, as Commissioner Riley had said, that we'd come out with a plan, and we're in the process of putting that plan into place right now. We have pass-through monies that we have plans in place that are coming to pass right now. So we're 8 years, 10 years, as we've been told, behind. Guys, I've only been here 3 years. We've already passed a mobility plan. Commissioner Riley has been pushing hard on all the roads and the things that we have done. We've removed the toll on 242. And, you know, as we move forward, we're going to continue to do whatever it takes for us to continue to pull through with this huge growth that we're experiencing because of our position our ideology, the way we look at things here in Montgomery County. We want to be free. We don't want to be under draconian measures. And why do you think everybody is coming here from all over the place? It's not they're just coming to Texas. They're coming to Montgomery County because we have a stable commissioner's court. We have a stable leadership that will keep us on the right track as we already are developing those plans and have those plans for transportation.
Just like these two gentlemen stated, we do have a mobility issue, but we've also done a fine job of not working well with TxDOT. So it would take time to repair those relationships, and I'm dedicated to do so. As well as HGCA is another funding aspect that we've done a fine job of deteriorating that relationship as well. We don't have a seat at the table, quite frankly. So we've got some work to do to ensure that we get grant money as well as have the relationship with TxDOT to be able to co-fund mobility around the county, as well as the mobility plan. It should have, there has been a plan, it's not been updated in 10 years, the one that I have seen. And in Montgomery, we are split between two commissioners. I have met with both of those commissioners, and matter of fact, one of the commissioners, not here this evening, didn't understand that we had a four-way stop that was jam-packed. People took 30 minutes to get through there. He did a mobility study and found out there was nearly 15,000 cars coming through that. We have got to get ahead of it, not be behind it. The tail is not wagging the dog. We need to wag the tail. And we are currently not doing that today. So there's relationships that need to be repaired and a better plan going forward and a vision that is successful to move people like you, the taxpayers, around this county with ease.
Okay, thank you. And starting back on this side with you, yes, sorry. If elected, what would be your first action when you take office?
As soon as after the primary, I would meet with all leadership within the county, as well as all the constables and leadership within our sheriff's department and constable department, so that I could understand what the county is doing well, what we're not doing well, what are the needs that are necessary to ensure that our taxpayers, that you are safe. That government is for safety and infrastructure. That's the two roles. So I would also work with mobility, understand, be a part of those meetings and start repairing those relationships at the TxDOT and HGAC level. But I would already be meeting with the law enforcement to understand where we are today and how we can be better. So that way, when I get sworn in on January 1st, I can hit the ground running and there isn't a 90-day ramp up period. I've had months. I've had 9 months to get ramped up. So I'm looking forward to doing that for you and getting started quickly so that I can hit the ground running come January 1st.
I recently was at a meeting of a group of business, a group of politicians, a group of citizens. It's called a Biz Now meeting. There was 4 people up on stage besides me. They were all involved in development, architectural, and some political. And you know, when they asked the question, why Montgomery County? You know what every person said? Every person to a person. Stable government. What we have done here in Montgomery County is you've got a commissioner's court that is working together to get things accomplished. Do you really believe that without a unified commissioner's court, you could have had the no new revenue rate 3 years in a row, 3 budget cycles? Do you really believe that you could have closed down one of the tolls, second time in the history of the county, if we weren't doing some things right? Why is everybody wanting to move to Montgomery County? They're moving to Montgomery County because we stress freedom, personal responsibility. We have lost the draconian measures. They've just declared a code red down in Houston. You got to be kidding me. After all of this, it's over for all of that. We will stand against the mask mandate. We stand against vaccine mandates, and that is in our priority that we're going to continue to focus on until we get this thing through to the end. That's the only way we can keep moving forward.
Repeat the question, please.
Yes, if elected, what would be your first action?
My very first action would come in the way of getting to know all the leadership, number one, because we must have a team approach. We must each understand our role in the government. We must each understand our deficiencies, our expertise, And I would first of all want to sit down and meet with all my leadership and ensure that we are all going in the same direction for the same reason, and that's to serve you. And I would remind every single leader and every single employee in Montgomery County that our job number one is to serve you, the citizens. We have forgotten in county work that often we do not actually serve you the way we should be serving you. You should be the VIP. Too many times do we call the county and we don't get responses. Maybe some of you have a great relationship. That's fantastic. I know I've called many times and left messages, and rarely do I get return calls. I think it's very important that we not distract from decisions that have been made in 2020 for the sake of trying to say we're something that we're not. We did not do a good job in some areas in 2020. We did have draconian measures. People are coming to Montgomery County because Montgomery County is the place to be right now. We have lots of land, we have lots of water, and we have lots of jobs. That's why people are coming. And it's extremely important that we maintain the level of leadership that we need, and we need a new way of looking at business. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so starting down there at the end again with Billy, and working our way back here. So what do you believe going forward the county judge's role should be in responding to the COVID pandemic?
Never lock down, for one. And when we do make mistakes, be man enough to stand up and say, hey, I shouldn't have done it. I think humility is a great tool in our arsenal of leadership. I think we should continue to encourage one another to take on personal responsibility. I'm kind of like, I'm going to be honest, Charlie, I think I'm kind of done with this stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to carry it on and on. The federal government with the crazies up there, they're going to just kind of keep this thing going. Ladies and gentlemen, I think in Montgomery County, we should be done with it. Yep. I'm done with it, guys. I don't think we really need to talk anymore about it. We need to move forward, encourage our small businesses to get back up and running. We shut them down. Let's help them get back up and running. Let's encourage our folks. Let's get our school system supported. Let's get our kids back the way it needs to go. And let's get back to business the way it was before 2020. And let's provide the education, the information, the knowledge, everything that we learned scientifically, then the county should be communicating it to you, the citizen. Everything that we know, we should be communicating to you, the citizen. And then you, the citizen, because you live in the great state of Texas, have the authority and the constitutional right to make your own choices and your own decisions. It is not the role of the county to tell you when, what, how. This is free Texas. Thank you.
I wish I had the luxury of looking back and saying, I wouldn't have done that. We were right in the middle of it. The President Trump of the United States had shut down the federal government. I mean, are you kidding me? Governor Abbott had shut down the state government. And they believed they had the constitutional rights. And all this constitutionality stuff, that can be challenged. Not going to take time tonight. But other than that, we even had Governor DeSantis in Florida, the most conservative governor around, shut down. Hospital ship over in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, a hospital ship in New York. I mean, all this stuff is going on, and they're telling us we're going to lose 1,000 lives and have 100,000 cases. So it's easy to sit there and go, I'd never shut down. But you know what? It was 2 weeks. We did add some days to it. But in that same time, what the total was, I think, 17 days that we were shut down. Leadership is seeing that things aren't working out the way you want them to work out. The numbers were an alternative universe than the way things were working. Leadership is being able to pick up the ball, go with it, get back on track, put common sense into place, and that's exactly what we did. We did it in our court, we did it in our business. There is not a day that goes by that someone doesn't thank us and thank the court for what we did and where we're headed. That's the reason why Montgomery County is going the way it is. And city of Conroe alone, 28% ahead of 2019. I don't want to go back to before COVID. I'm glad where we're at. We're moving forward. We are rocking. Don't break up this opportunity. By the way, I'm Mark Keough. I am your county judge. Please take a sign when you leave. Love for you to represent the community.
One more question.
So I get to
After she answers.
I would not have shut down this county. I would not have instituted a curfew at 11:59. It's been stated in another debate that the good people would have already been home at 11:59. So not only did our current county judge pick who is essential and who is not essential, but he also picked the good and the bad. What if I had a family member in the hospital and I needed to be on the road? He mandated that they get arrested in his order. Now, COVID-19, you're right. Leadership is taking the information that you have, but it's also considering the information you don't have. That's true leadership, a 360-degree view, not just tunnel vision. Secondly, if I were county judge during the COVID, I would make sure that the CARES Act money was paid out according to what the federal government and Governor Abbott stated. There were 12 counties that were paid out for COVID dollars at $55 per capita. Montgomery County is the only county that did not adhere to those governor orders and the federal mandate. Why? I think we're plugging our deficit in our budget. We have a $500,000 medical tent that's been erected once. We have a personal driver. We have it because of a convicted DWI. We have a brand new F-250. We have forklifts and trucks. COVID dollars were squandered and they were not distributed the way that they were intended. My city, the current county judge and his chief of staff lied about how much we asked for. I was initially left off the initial request for reimbursement. It was not handled well at all.
Thank you. And Judge Keough, you're able to have a 30-second rebuttal to that.
No, I'm not going to take the rebuttal. If you want to have any questions about any of that nonsense that you just heard, you meet me right over there. I'll give you a sign on your way out, and I'll explain it to you. Thank you. I'm Mark Keough. I am your county judge, and I'm asking you to keep the county court together.
All right, so then one more question going down the line. So Sarah, we'll start here with you. What do you feel are the biggest issues facing Montgomery County going forward, and what would you do to address those?
Currently, it's mobility, it's water mitigation, it's safety. I back our law enforcement, I back our first responders. I appreciate the fact that we are a safe county, and going forward, we need to make sure that we have our borders safe and send the message to surrounding counties and everyone that we do not tolerate bad actors. I would like to see our law enforcement be the benchmark for not only the counties around us, but also for the state and for the United States. I support all law enforcement and all first responders. I also want to make sure that you can find me, countryman4countyjudge.com. Thank you.
I think there's three major issues that are facing Montgomery County. The first is transportation. We beat the dead horse on that here today, and what we're going to be doing to it and what has taken with it and what has taken place. It's a priority to me to make sure that for the fourth year in a row, as your appraisals go up, which they will, you will not pay extra money in your taxes, in county taxes, and we will drop the rate accordingly and continue to give you the no new revenue rate. Priority is to end this COVID nonsense that we've all been talking about as well. We're getting beyond it. We're pushing beyond it. As they're going code red south of us, the pressure of Harris County and wanting to draw us into that, we have a proven track record of saying no to the county judge there and 17 other counties around us that closed before we did, and also to the city of Houston that is always pressuring us to want to get us involved with what they're doing. The answer is simply no. This is Montgomery County. We are Montgomery County Republicans, and we're going to stay the course and continue to do exactly what we've been doing. And I ask for your vote. Keep our Commissioners Court together. We are working, it's working, our roads and bridges and the rest, it's all coming together. I'm Mark Keough, and I am your county judge.
I will quickly readdress something that was made a statement a minute ago. I'm not just standing up here throwing out words and ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know in the middle of the shutdown, I had crews working in Harris County. When I say don't shut down, I took it upon myself and my company. We didn't shut down. I didn't tell my employees they couldn't go to work. I didn't put their little babies' mouths without food coming in there. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say we shouldn't shut down. I'm standing as someone who did not shut down. I'm standing as someone who stood up for my people, who worked for my company, and they never lost a paycheck. So I'm sick and tired of hearing these things come to me. Well, it's just an idea. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what. I'm living it. I'm doing it. And I'm sacrificing everything that I have to be a servant, not only to you, but to the very people that I employ, because they matter more. We've talked about it, roads. We need more fiscal responsibility. I can tell you right now, this team is not as good as they say they are. Right now, I have over 24 reasons that this team needs to be changed. 24 good reasons why this team needs to be changed. We're not going to talk about it right now. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you what. There's a lot of things that are not exactly right, from ethics to fiscal openness.
Thank you. Thank you all.